The WNBA is officially in panic mode after what has become one of the most injury-struck stretches of the Indiana Fever season. In a showdown against the Minnesota Lynx, the Fever were forced to adjust to a roster that is suddenly missing 6 key players, including star rookie Caitlin Clark and veteran shooter Sophie Cunningham. The timing could not be worse, with the playoffs looming and every single game carrying heavy weight in the standings. What makes this story even more shocking is that it's not just 1 or 2 injuries, they are dealing with a wave of setbacks all at once, leaving the franchise scrambling for answers. The biggest headline, of course, is Caitlin Clark. The #1 draft pick, who carried so much hype into her first professional season, has been out with a lingering groin injury. She has now missed more than 2 weeks of action, and while fans keep refreshing their feeds for updates, the Fever's staff has been cautious about rushing her back. Clark's competitive drive makes her want to return as soon as possible, but the medical team is focused on the bigger picture, her long-term health and the fact that she's the centerpiece of the Fever's rebuild. As of now, there is still no clear timeline for her return, and every game she misses feels like a major blow for both the team and the WNBA, which relies heavily on her star power. Then comes Sophie Cunningham, the Heart and Hustle veteran who has been one of the Fever's most consistent contributors. Cunningham suffered a season-ending MCL tear in her right knee earlier this month, and the confirmation of her status rocked both the locker room and the fanbase. Known for her energy, three-point shooting, and toughness on defense, she leaves behind not just a hole in the lineup but also in leadership. In fact, Sophie herself had to come forward to ask fans to stop blaming the player who accidentally injured her, showing her character and maturity even as she faces months of recovery. But the list doesn't stop there. Sydney Colson, another key piece for depth, tore her ACL in her left knee and is now out for the season as well. Ari McDonald fractured her right foot and has also been ruled out for the remainder of the year. Both of those injuries are devastating for the Fever's guard rotation, as they were already thin without Clark. Add Chloe Bibby, who is sidelined with a left knee issue, and you start to see just how stretched this roster has become. To cope, Indiana recently signed Odyssey Sims on a 7-day hardship contract, but even she is listed as probable and not fully healthy. The Minnesota Lynx, on the other hand, took full advantage of Indiana's weakened lineup. In back-to-back matchups, the Lynx first squeezed out a 95-90 win behind Jessica Shepard's incredible triple-double, and then followed it up with a dominant 97-84 victory powered by Nafisa Collier's 32-point performance. Both games highlighted the gap between a fully healthy championship contender and a Fever squad simply trying to hold the pieces together. For Indiana, the impact of these injuries is about more than just losses in the standings. Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston have been forced to carry heavy loads night after night, and while they've fought hard, the lack of depth is glaring. Young players like Lexi Hull are getting more minutes, but the pressure of replacing all-star level production is unfair to put on role players alone. The big question now is what comes next. The Fever's playoff hopes are still technically alive, but every setback makes the path more difficult. If Clark cannot return soon, and if the roster continues to shrink, Indiana could be looking at another season that ends before the postseason even begins. Yet in the WNBA, resilience is everything. Teams have fought through worse, and the Fever still have talent and pride left to compete. Fans are holding their breath, hoping for a miracle return from Clark, while also sending love and support to Cunningham, McDonald, Colson, and Bibby as they recover. For now, the Fever have no choice but to dig deep, find a way to survive, and prove that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, they can still fight to the very end.